even though it can be very difficult to change such enormous things like policy, cannabis policy, anything, it can be overwhelming and somewhat discouraging, but it takes a lot of time and hard work to change things, and every little bit counts. So we did spend many years, even before my time, people spent decades engaging in activism, running for office, calling in radio shows, writing letters to newspapers, marching in the streets, engaging in civil disobedience and educational efforts. That work was long and slow and tedious, but it does chip away at the wall of prohibition. The problem with prohibition and the criminalization of cannabis and other drugs, I think the reason it's so harmful is because the prohibition is based in discrimination and hatred and misinformation about groups of people. In fact, reefer madness, a lot of that was based back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. It was based on racism. And the war on drugs has been based on racism too. It's been used to not just arrest people and charge them, which is one way to cause harm, but it causes a discrimination, a stigma, leads to people not having employment opportunities and housing issues in courts with respect to children and custody. So the harms go far beyond just the simple criminalization. I think the review is really important right now because people like myself spent many years very publicly trying to warn everyone about how bad the legislation was looking and the harms that would probably come from it. Now, instead of being told, oh, just wait and see, we've waited, we've seen, it's a disaster and we need to fix it. So the review is essential, but if people just say, oh, it's legal, it's done, whatever, we're not going to see any changes. So this review gives us a chance to address a lot of issues with respect to medical marijuana, overtaxation, overregulation, and the list goes on and on. So I do encourage people to take part.